Presented by Parkview Sports Medicine and airing exclusively on MyTV Fort Wayne.
Well, welcome back to Fort Wayne Comet Hockey on MyTV. Kent Horman from the broadcast booth here at the State Fairgrounds Coliseum in Indianapolis. The Komets, their road black uniforms with the white numerals and the orange piping on the shoulders. Indianapolis has its home whites trimmed in red, and we are just about set to go as they're waiting for the lights to come back up here in the fairgrounds. Third meeting of the season between the Komets and the Fuel. The K's have won the first two, 5-4 in an overtime shootout. That was the season opener for both teams, the home opener for the Fuel. Komets went into the third period down 3-0. Ended up winning that one 5-4 in the shootout. And then they beat the Fuel 4-3 the next night in the Komets home opener, the 63rd home opener at Memorial Coliseum. So François Tremblay making his first start for the K's. You have to figure there are some butterflies floating around in the tummy of that 20-year-old, and he'll go against Cody Reichard, who is, to say the least, much traveled. Even made a stop in Fort Wayne last year, the native of Lima, Ohio. Our officials for this afternoon's game: Andy Thackerberry is the referee. The linesmen are Patrick Richardson and Ryan Madsen. And again, while they're waiting for the lights to come up, we got off the bus, and when the Komets were getting into their locker rooms and unpacking the sticks, getting everything ready to go, there was a brief power outage here, so I wonder if they're waiting for the lights to come up, and that's a little bit of the reason for this delay. Of course, the Komets head coach is Gary Graham, his assistant, and what a job he's done, really kind of helping that offense start to percolate. Konstantin Shafronov, the former Komet great. The trainer is Zachary Creighton. The head coach for the Fuel is Scott Hillman. His assistants are Bernie John, Jan Yass, and Derek Edmondson. It'll be Phi against Rhett Bly, and Thackerberry drops the puck. We are underway in Indianapolis. Glad you could join us for Comet Hockey on MyTV. Now Leach behind his own net, flips it high off the boards, and that will hit the glass and climb over. Looked like it maybe caromed off a Fuel player, so the face-off will be outside of the zone. And an immediate line change for the Fuel. So Brett Perlini will come to center ice to take the draw against Phi. Squirts between the legs of Phi, and now dumped into the Komet zone. Duco tries to keep it in, and it does. Goes back to the point. That shot is just wide. Now they battle for the puck, and the Fuel some early pressure. There's a good check applied by Leach. Now the Komets look to break it out, and they do. Here comes Phi. Little backhand pass. Mbach between the feet. Quick shot on, and it's blocked in front. Now feathered high off the glass, kept in at the point. There's a drive that whistles wide by Daniels. Come along the board, Mbach rubs his man off the play, Clark Wilson. Komets go for a line change. Daniels will cross the red line and fired into the corner. He heads for the Komet bench so they can switch up D-men. Now a pass to the point to Martin. Dished off, a little backhand shot right in front, and that just missed that time as Nathan Condon denied. That caromed off a Fuel defender and almost surprised Reichard. Now dumped back into the zone where Tremblay plays. Kept along the boards, now digging behind. Here come the Fuel as Matt White tries to keep the puck alive. They scrum around behind the net. Here comes White. Fires it clear out to the point, but it's too strong, and gathering back is Dylan Fournier. Now the Komets applying some pressure as Pistilli can't take care of the puck. That is just feathered on goal and steered aside neatly by Tremblay. Oh, a big hit that time by Garrett Klotz, who also saw time in a Komet uniform. Now the K's coming in off the wing, looking to center that time was Condon, but no one home. Oh, that shot from the point caroms right off the skate of Paul Crowder, but it goes wide back into the corner, and the Komets go for a line change. Now the Fuel setting up the attack from behind their own end. Cross-ice pass. That time it's neatly gathered by Patrick Cullen. He tries to knife between two Komet defenders. Can't. The puck is loose, though. Kept in at the point. Now it's dumped into the corner that time and coming out. And that puck's going to wind up into the stands as It was Rhett Bly looking for a teammate. Boy, I'll tell you, if you get a look at the defenseman, Ildor Telyakov, he goes 6'8", 231. Six foot 8 inches, 231 pounds. That is skyscraper material when you put him on blades. Now Ian Bartow tries to dump it back into the Comet corner. That time the K's maybe got away with one, as it looked like Lacasse maybe got a piece that time of Clark Wilson. Now the Comets look for the breakout. Dumped in neatly that time by Thomas Frazee. Now a truck takes a big hit that time from the defenseman Nick Brunito, who also saw some time in Fort Wayne. And there is a whistle. And it looks like we're going to have our first penalty of the game, and it'll be against Kaylee Schrock for a slash. So the penalty comes at 2:34 of the first period. And the Comet captain, Kaylee Schrock, goes off 2 minutes for slashing. Schrock didn't like the rough ride he got into the boards and turned around and retaliated, so the Fuel on the power play as Perlini tries to dig it out of the corner, and the Comets a good job of clearing that time as Drew Daniels fires at the length of the rink. So Indy again on the attack with Schrock in the penalty box serving the minor for the slash. Perlini tries to flip it ahead, but nobody home, and the Comets clear the length of the rink. Good job that time by Leach. Comets try to switch up here on the penalty kill. Now Perlini back into his own end, and the Fuel to advance. Now Perlini, again, can't get between a couple of Comets. Embach rode him off the play, and the Comets clear once again. Well, the Fuel have a 25% proficiency on the power play. That's 9th in the league. And as far as the penalty kill, the Comets 76.2%, and that is 17th. 16:20 to go in the opening period. And again, the Fuel cannot advance it, and the Comets just dump it down that time as Cody Saul. Now here's Duco, who's the captain of the Fuel, tries to feed it ahead. That time Wise gets it, snaps it just wide. Now Lacasse and Wise battle along the boards, and the Comets clear once again. That time a good job by Mitchell Hurd. They ringing around the boards. The Fuel now really hasn't gotten anything going on the power play so far. 22 seconds remain in the power play. Now the Comets have a chance to take some more time off the clock. Little cross-ice pass to Bartow. And Bartow just finds some open ice, and he'll dump it back in where Reichert will stop it. Only 10 more seconds left in the Fuel power play. Kaylee Schrock signals across to his bench, wondering whether he should go on the ice or come across. Now here's Crowder breaking it off the wing. A big drive and a save that time. The rebound, and the Comets tuck it in. What a great play that time. A rebound left out there, and Matthew Pistilli, just as the power play expires, collected the loose change right in front, and he tucked it home. And Matthew Pistilli has his 4th goal of the season, and the Comets take a 1-0 lead. What a play by Matthew Pistilli. It comes at the 4:37 mark. So the power play had just expired. Pistilli with goal number 4. That leads the team, and the Comets quickly off with a 1-0 lead. Saul that time is given a rough ride by Perlini. Duco steps into his man. But the Comets putting the pressure on. Now Hurd throws a hip into the Fuel defender. Comets picking up the physicality here, kind of seizing the energy off of that quick goal. Now Martin will snap it on goal, and that time it's gloved by Reichert, as that had a little misdirection on it. So Reichert had to be ready. Looked like it maybe just glanced off the back of his defenseman. So the Comets carrying the early play and have the 1-0 lead on Matthew Pistilli's 4th goal of the season. That coming at the 4:37 mark, just a few seconds after Kaylee Schrock came out of the penalty box. Fye in on the draw, but the puck winds up in neutral ice. That's just backhanded in by Joey Leach. Fye will give a little bit of forecheck there. Now the Fuel tried to come up along the boards, but Mike Embach, who's a great defensive forward, did a good job of clogging up that play. Now here's Cullen as he just dumps it into the corner, giving chase that time with speed is Jamie Wise. He's rubbed off the play by Leach, and a good cross-ice breakout pass, and here's Daniels. Now Daniels just flips it in. Two of the Fuel go after it, and Embach steps into his man, Rhett Bly. Embach is really throwing the body around here in the early action of this one. Good cross-ice pass goes to Embach, the off wing. Kind of fans on that little pass attempt. And now the Fuel look to break out. Here's Garrett Klotz, the big left winger. He stepped into that time by Embach again. Now Pistilli with a good back check, comes across to Bartow. Good job with the feet, tries to feed it out but can't. Fournier with the interception. He spins. Now along the half wall, comes back to the point. And racing out was Pistilli. And the puck is still in play. That went way up in the air, did not hit anything. And that time the pass got past the defenseman who was racing in, Justin Hall. "12, 6-on-6, so 12 players are on the ice right now as everything is even. We have 13-16 to go in the first period. They gave Paul Crowder an assist on the Pistilli goal. Now the Komets are doing a good job of clogging up any kind of passing lanes that the Fuel are looking for. Now Saul right onto the stick that time of Fye. Crowder tries to feed it in and bumped off the boards that time by Big Helyakov. Comes back to the point, but Saul can't keep it in. He comes across to James Martin. Now Martin will just slap it into the Indy zone. It wheels around the boards. That time Condon trying to poke it away. Now he gets the puck back. Tries to center. It'll go back near the point area. And that time Frazee will just dump it in. Hustling in that time is Kaylee Schrock. And he will bump Helyakov off the play. Schrock trying to dig the puck out. Circles it around behind the net. Now the K's looking to, again, put some great offensive pressure on. And that time Frazee tries to keep the puck alive. It's along the boards. Mitchell Hurd. Now here's Schrock. Schrock bumped off the play, but Schrock keeps digging. Boy, the Komets are really, really moving the feet well here in the early going. Daniels tries to keep it back in, goes into a sea of bodies. Schrock flips it back into the corner. Reichert tries to take control, flips it high off the glass, but a crazy Karam poked in front, and the Komets can't keep it alive. It squirts through the feet of Daniels. Here is Duco. Duco goes cross-ice. The shot, oh, it's just whistled wide that time. Clark Wilson was bidding for the equalizer. Now at neutral ice, that's just ripped in by Duco. Everybody going for a line change, but the Komets have the fresh troops out right now. Pass goes up ahead as Sidlowski dumps it in with speed. Feist comes wiggling in, then he blows a tire, goes into the wall, comes back out, and here is Cullen. Bit of a dangerous pass right there through the middle. Sidlowski with the great back check. Here's Embach. Dishes off to Fye. Fye with a quick low shot. Steered aside that time by Reichert. That time Sidlowski. Heavy hit that time involving Nick Jones, and we have a whistle as the puck got loose. So the linesman right now, Richardson and Madsen, conferring as to exactly what happened with the puck. So we have a timeout here at the Fairgrounds Coliseum. 11:13 to go in the opening period. Komets lead 1-0. You're watching My Komets on My TV. Well, back at the Fairgrounds on the power play and quickly putting some pressure on, and now a little conversation between Fye and one of the Fuel, like he was talking to Brett Bly. So Fye and Bly get together for a little confab, and I doubt they were asking for restaurant recommendations. Fye on the draw against Matt White. Now he's chased out, so Sidlowski Boy, snaps the draw right across. It winds up in the skates that time, and it's backhanded the length of the rink by the tall defenseman, Ildar Telyakov. So the Komets go to work on the power play. Komets power play is 22.2%. That would be 11th in the league. Now it comes back to the point to Frazee. Comes across. Daniels. Dishes off to Sidlowski. Back to Daniels. Right at the side of the net. That time a nifty little deflection attempt was off the mark by Frazee. And the Fuel managed to flip it the length of the rink once again. The Indianapolis penalty kill is 75%. That's tied for 19th in the league. And folks, one thing I can mention to you, if we still have a little bit of delay between hearing my voice and the action, we're still working on the ECHL sync issue. And also from time to time you might see an Indy Fuel announcer pop up because this is their game feed. So game 2 of our 18-game Komet Road package here in my TV, and we're still working a few things out, but we're glad you could join us, and we do know it's a much improved quality of picture, just trying to work on some of the synchronization issues. So if I'm a little ahead of the play, no, I'm not psychic. We just have a bit of a delay. Now Wise, shorthanded, tries to weave through, and there's just a low shot, that time put on goal by Justin Hall, and it's smothered that time with the big mitt of Tremblay. Komets have outshot the Fuel so far 6-1, 9:32 to go in this first period from the beautiful renovated State Fairgrounds Coliseum. And again, if you're just tuning in, Komets on the board at the 4:37 mark. Matthew Pistilli, his 4th goal of the season. Now the teams scrum around at center ice. Fye tries to turn on the Jets, but it's poked away with the long reach of Telyakov. Now that time Embach is stepped into by Duco. And that'll do it for the penalty as Jones comes back out, but a quick shot by Embach and nothing doing, and then he's bumped off the play that time by Perlini. So Paul Crowder picking up an assist. He has another point. And again, there's just a little bit of a delay here in the first period. That's one of the things we don't see them do at Memorial Coliseum that I'm learning now here early on here at the fairgrounds is that I'm sure they have some set times, but they bring a couple of people out on skates with shovels just to shovel some of the excess snow from the boards, the sideboard area, and then there's some snow that might accumulate near the nets. Days. That's the Tilted Kill in Jefferson Point, the official watch zone for all broadcasts of my Komets on my TV. Face-off goes into the corner where it's controlled by Brunito. Now up ahead, as that time, here come the Fuel breaking out. Racing into the corner is Johnny McGuire. Try to go back to the point. There's a shot that's flipped over the net. Tremblay didn't see it. Now Chelios, and yes, that is the son of the former Red Wing Blackhawk, Chris Chelios. Garrett Klotz, and has the shot blocked that time as Mitchell Hurd niftily stepped into that good cross-ice pass. To Hurd, the shot one time, and it was saved by Reichert. He never even knew where it was, as that time a great pass by Reed Petrick, who just recently joined the Komets from Lake Erie. Glorious scoring opportunity for the Komets, but that time Hurd shot it right into the belly of Reichert. Now Petrick. Hurd at the half wall, comes up high, comes cross ice. A shot again steered that time by the blocker as William Lacoste put the shot right on. Komets again pouring on some great pressure, and now the Fuel look to break out, but a good play by Martin to keep it in the zone. Komets doing a great job of controlling the puck in the Indianapolis zone. Now Schrock comes off for a line change, didn't see the puck at his feet, but the Komets quickly work it around. Tipped in by Petrick. And racing in, that's the hybrid icing, as you knew that time. Paul Crowder was going to get to play it first. Saul, well, he started to tee it up. Now he skates in, looks to center, right in front, and just swarmed upon that time by Cody Reichard. But the Komets have really dominated play here in the first period, as with 7:35 to go, they have the 1-0 lead and an 8-2 advantage in shots on goal. Face off to the right of Cody Reichard. Well, they don't drop the puck, so somebody's probably going to get tossed out of the circle. You have Rhett Bly in there. Against Crowder, no, they let them in there. They drop the puck, and it's flipped high off the glass. Saul does a good job of tying up his man on the play, Jamie Wise, and here comes Pistilli. Now he spins around, looks for a mate, has somebody breaking right in. That time the pass was intended for Nathan Condon, but the Fuel intercept. Stay onside. Wise weaves in. The shot off the big leg. Another rebound, and it's off the chest that time of Tremblay. Couple of quality shots. Jamie Wise denied by Tremblay. Now the K's look to break it out. Flipped cross ice. Again, the teams go for changes. Crowder tries to pick the pocket. Here's Pistilli down the slot. Just goes wide. And it takes a funny carom off the glass, and Reichard has to jump out of his net and fall on it at the side. So the Komets again just pouring on the pressure. Now, Gary Graham has really found some lines that he likes. Today he's got Mbach with Fye and Sidlowski. And that line has been buzzing. We're going to take a timeout here with the Komets leading 1-0, 6:53 to go in the first period. You're watching My Komets on My TV. Well, welcome back, and coming out of our break, they quickly dropped the puck, and teams are going end-to-end right now. That's dumped in, and Tremblay puts the big stick out. That time Klotz steps into his man to find and finish the check, but he comes out the worse for it as he just bounced right off at Joey Leach. Now Daniels tries to snap it ahead to Sidlowski. It went off his stick, so there will not be icing. K's go for a full line change. And breaking out now, it's Brett Perlini. Komets control as Bartow up ahead. Frazee has a go off his stick, and Brunito dumps it a little too strongly, and that should be an icing, and it is. 5:47 to go in period one, 1-0 Komets. Now this coming Monday, that's tomorrow at 7:30 out at the Sport One Parkview Ice House. Another edition of Sound Off with the Komets will come your way. Goaltender Pat Nagel will be Tommy Schegler's guest, talking about this weekend's troika of games. 7:30 on 21 Alive tomorrow, Sound Off with the Komets. Live at the Ice House in the Thirsty Penguin. Be a part of the live audience, food and drink specials. Centering pass that time, the big paddle of Reichard steers it away. There's another shot from the point. That was a great drive that time, and that was kicked out as Pistilli has been all over the ice. He fires again. That's a little bit wide. Now Condon is scrumming along with Telyakov. Comes along the boards, and it's back out to the point. Pistilli comes across. Cody Saul from the top of the circle. Right across. Score! Komets! Oh, what a great pass by Saul. Comes across, and the Komets light the lamp again. Nathan Condon has his first goal, and it's 2-0 Fort Wayne. Well, you talk about some tic-tac-toe, and the Komets go on top 2-0. Condon his first. Just a spectacular play by the K's. Well, not only was Gary Graham looking for bigger and stronger defensemen, but he was also looking for offensive-minded defensemen, and not just guys who will score, but who are just good passers. They're good with the puck, and that was just a spectacular goal. We'll have both assists for you in a second. Now Daniels goes cross ice. Leach, instead of the shot, goes to center. From the side, that slides through the crease. Komets again just pouring on the pressure. Now they finally get it into the Fort Wayne zone. Right in front, a little tip-in attempt that time by Wise, but standing his ground was Tremblay. Kays look to break out. Schrock is stepped into heavily that time by Bly. 4.5 minutes to go in the opening period. Kays up now 2-0. Now it's Hurd intercepting the pass, coming in off the left wing. Spins around. A couple of Fuel try to hound him. There was just an absolute slash or a hook, and there will be a penalty on the Fuel once they touch the puck. Touched up that time by Brisbois, and there will be a penalty against the Fuel. That will come at the 15:46 mark, and it'll be a slash. Yep, that was pretty obvious. So that goes against Wise. That was so obvious, everybody in the building knew it. So the Kays go back to work on the power play. Second minor penalty called against the Fuel. Fly in for the faceoff. That time it's plucked away by Matt White. And that time they ring it around the boards, and the Komets could not keep it in, so Drew Daniels will go back and set up shop. Now the Komets again, that time fanning on the play a little bit was Sidlowski, so it's cleared the length of the rink. And the Kays will set up once more with 3:42 to go in this opening period. Dumped into the corner, Kays give pursuit. Telyakov tries to clear, and he winds up golfing it up into the crowd. Face-off will be in the Indy zone. To the right of goaltender Cody Reichard. So on Condon's first goal as a Komet, the assist went to Saul and Pistilli, who has his second point of the night. So Pistilli now has 4 goals and 3 assists and leads the Komets in scoring with 7 points. Back to the point it comes. James Martin methodically gets it back over Crowder, side of the net, dropping to his knees, and then taking the hit that time was Pistilli. Comes across to Saul. Saul thinks about teeing it up, doesn't, comes back to Martin. Martin does, side of the net. They're going to try to ring it around right in front, and Condon couldn't quite tip it in. And now there's going to be an interference call, I believe. And it looks like they're going to call it on Pistilli. He can't believe it. Wow. 16:49 of the first, so that'll even things up. So Pistilli is still trying to figure out where that came from, but he gets interference. So the face-off goes back into the Komet zone. Penalties are now even at 2 apiece as the team skate 4 aside. The battle of the 20s, Crowder against White. Crowder wins the draw, but Indy controls, comes back to the point. Fournier, he comes across to his defensive mate Brisbois. Komets try to poke it out and do, and now Condon trying to win the race to the puck as he hounds Fournier, knocks the stick out of his hand. Fournier tries to pin it along the wall. And now you can imagine there's going to be a slash called against the Komets. They're going to call a slash for knocking the stick out of the player's hands. Oh, my. And the wry expression on the face of Nathan Condon. So back-to-back penalties not only negate a Komet power play, but give the Fuel the man advantage. Well, I know they've really tried to clean up the stick work in hockey, but when you're just giving a guy a little shot on the stick to try to make sure he can't play the puck, that's a lot different than the old two-hander. But now it's 4-on-3, a lot of open ice out there. Jones near the top of the circle, gives to Perlini, back up to Jones. Jones comes across ice, and there's the one-timer by Jones, but he fans on it. Can the Komets control and poke it away? Saul gives pursuit. Now Jones gets it across to Hall. Hall skates in, top of the circle. One-timer down the slot. Hit the crossbar! Oh, my! Hit the crossbar, and the Komets fortunate enough to be able to get the puck and shoot it the length of the rink. Now the Fuel break out. Again, the 4-on-3. Schrock is the lone forward on the ice for the Komets. And now it's a 5-on-3 as Wise joins the fun. Drive by Jones goes wide. Schrock tries to backhand it out, and he clears at the length of the rink. The hustling captain gets the job done. 2 minutes to go in period one. And the biggest threat for Indianapolis is now the Komets have to fight off a two-man disadvantage. Now Duco up high, over to Fournier, leaves it back. Fanning on the shot is Duco, but the Fuel still control, comes back to the point. Brisbois up high, another drive right into the belly, that time of Tremblay, and a great save as the one-timer by Dylan Fournier was right on, but saved by François Tremblay. Well, now the Fuel will make a line change. The Komets will try to get some fresh troops out there, as it'll be Crowder with Saul and Martin. And the Komets lead 2-0 with 99 seconds to go here in the first period. And is the Fuel going to call a timeout? And they do. So we'll take a quick timeout. Komets lead 2-0. You're watching My Komets on MyTV.
On MyTV Fort Wayne, presented by Parkview Sports Medicine.
Well, Indianapolis on the power play, and the Komets thwart a couple of scoring opportunities by the Fuel. We are down to just over a minute to play. Komets have one of the penalized players back on the ice, so it's a 5-on-4. Now Bartow just tries to poke it away. Fuel putting on great pressure, especially on the 5-on-3, but the Komets and François Tremblay have done a great job. Now here's a chance for a breakaway. He just came out of the box. Here he comes. Condon shoots. Oh, he beats him in the 5-hole. What a great shot that time. As Condon, just coming out of the penalty box, took the pass, broke in, and fired the low shot right between the pads of Cody Reichert, and the Komets have a 3-0 lead. Condon, his second goal. Just a great play by the Komets. Boy, Condon was doing a little backward skating, takes the pass, spun it around, and right through the 5-hole. So Condon, his second goal of the game, second of the season, and that came at 19:18. Well, that could be huge as far as the Komets, and really depressing the Fuel. Fighting off the 5-on-3 advantage. Pistilli on the assist on the great pass. His third point of the period. Matthew Pistilli. Now here's Frazee, fakes the shot, weaves around the defender, fires it just a little bit wide, but collected by Lacasse up near the point. Pass comes up to Bartow. He'll shoot it right on. That goes off the stick that time. A Reichert. Komets are just pouring on the pressure. 5 seconds to go in the period. And that will just about do it, as Hurd tries to get something going in front, and that will do it for the opening period. And what a period it was for the Fort Wayne Komets, as they explode for 3 first-period goals and have a 3-0 lead. So we will take this time out and be back with more from the Fairgrounds Coliseum. 3-0 in favor of the Komets. You're watching My Komets on MyTV. And they're a third of the way home right now. Again, My Komets on MyTV is brought to you by Parkview Sports Medicine, which provides performance and fitness training, advanced rehabilitation services, and nutrition consultations to sports enthusiasts at all levels. You can learn more by calling Parkview Sports Medicine 260-266-4007. That's 260-266-4007. I was talking about Sound Off with the Komets tomorrow night, 7:30 at the Sport One Parkview Ice House. Again, from the Thirsty Penguin upstairs, be part of the live audience. Food and drink specials. The specials tomorrow: buffalo-style chicken with fries or salad, $6.99. It's usually $7.99. Bottles of Coors Light or Miller Lite, $2.75. They're usually $2.99. And audience members have a chance to enter a Win a Komets jersey signed by the 2014 15Ks. If you can't join us in person, tune in with Tommy Schegler tomorrow night, 21 Alive, Sound Off with the Komets at 7:30. Well, the teams come to center ice, and we are just about set for action. Komets' next home game, in fact, they will have back-to-back games next Friday and Saturday against the Kalamazoo Wings, and that could be interesting. Some bad blood from the Friday night game in Kalamazoo, which the Komets won 3-2 in overtime, but some stick work by the Wings went undisciplined by the ECHL, so we'll see what happens there. But puck is dropped for period 2 as Fye and White joust for the biscuit. Mbach, low along the half wall, tries to backhand to pass across, but it's intercepted by White. Now Bruneteau ahead to Klotz, but that is broken up that time by Daniels, and the Komets started out, but that errant pass is intercepted. K's control, try to clear it out. Mbach gloved it down, and now it's just poked ahead that time by Joey Leach. At center ice, and it's attempted to be dumped in by White, but the Komets, again, doing a great job of clogging things up at neutral ice. Fuel dump it in. Daniels collides with Klotz, but it's poked ahead. And a cross-ice pass is gloved by Mbach. Kicks it ahead with the skate. Oh, what a shot that time, and a save by Reichard. Great play that time by Mbach as he fed the pass to breaking in Eric Fye, and sliding across to make a sensational save was Cody Reichard. Otherwise, it would have been 4-0 Komets. Now you watch Mike Mbach talk about the complete hockey player head to toe. He's great with his hands, great with his stick, great with his feet. Superb pass to Fye, and it was only a great save by Reichard that denied the Komets once again. Now circling around his net is Fournier. Up ahead, Condon can't quite control, so it's chopped in by Brett Perlini. K's look to feed it out. Crowder forgets something, and here comes the quick shot, but that time a good job by Saul to put the big shillelagh in there and poke it aside. Fuel, though, trying to apply some pressure from behind the net. Comes out to Hall. That shot is wide, and Pistilli will try to chip it ahead, but now the Fuel clogging things up in the Komet end. Good solid body check that time by Martin, and it's dumped back into the Fuel zone. We've played a minute and a half of period 2. It's 3-0 K's. Now the Fuel methodically trying to look for a breakout. Long pass goes past everybody, and that should be an icing. And it is when Lacasse touches it up. Other action today in the ECHL. They're through 2 periods, and Toledo leads Brampton 3-2. Just underway in Orlando, battle of Florida teams, Florida and Orlando scoreless. Later tonight, Elmira at Reading, Bakersfield at Ontario, and Wichita at Tulsa. Now Mitchell Hurd is chased out, so Frazee will go in to take the draw against Patrick Cullen. And it's back to Hurd. The shot, score, Komets! Oh, it was deflected. Hurd didn't get much on it, and the puck just butterflied. Looked like it maybe hit one of the Fuel players. Reichert never saw it, and it ballooned past him. So a minute and 44 seconds into period 2, it's 4-0 Komets. When you're hot, you're hot. And I believe that will be the goal to Mitchell Hurd, which would be his 3rd as a Komet. Now the K's look to break out again. Hurd, who I believe will get credit for that goal, right along the high wall. Dumps it into the corner, bumped off the play that time, is Frazee. Now Frazee goes down in a heap after he's bodied by Telyakov, but the K's keep it in. Hurd just tried to flip it up. Jumping up and grabbing it is Matt White. K's keep it in. Deft work that time by Hurd, but it's poked away. And now circling around is Ian Bartow. Lacasse comes cross ice. And that's going to be an icing. As that time the Komets Mbach tried to play it. So we have played 2 minutes and 25 seconds here at period 2. The Komets now have the 4-0 lead. And we'll wait to the official announcement, but I do believe that is Mitchell Hurd's goal. Now Lacasse snaps it around the boards, up around the high wall. It is Hurd. And right now they're calling it unassisted. Fuel looked to break it in, but the Komets intercept. Flipped out, but that time, good defensive play that time by Nick Jones as he batted it down with a glove. Now it cycles back. Brisbois, right near his own blue line, comes center. It's just tipped in that time. And Patrick Cullen and the rest of the Fuel will give pursuit. Missing the check that time was the captain, Mike Duco. He's a bit of a firebrand. Now the Komets look to break it out. Crisp pass. Now it's Mbach trying to feather it ahead to Phi. And that time Reichert will just put the big mid out. And a little extracurricular. You can see some frustration with the Fuel as Sidlowski was just standing there. And for no good reason, Clark Wilson gives him a couple of cross checks to the chest. And right now, Sidlowski skating off, just laughing. Saying it's 4-0, we're in first place, and how's your day been? Well, if this continues, things could get testier. There's no question about that. On the draw, the Fuel control. And now trying to break it out and turning on a little burst of speed is Johnny McGuire. I believe this is his first shift. That time the stick is chopped out of the hand of the Fuel player, and he was looking for a slash. Instead, getting a new stick is Jamie Wise. And here's Condon, who's got 2 goals. His first 2 as the Komet comes across. Boring down the middle was Crowder. He's bumped off the play that time by Hull, and Hull gives him a rough ride into the glass. You can see Indy's trying to pick up a little intensity and probably the physicality, frustrated with the 4-0 deficit here on home ice. Cross ice pass. Now it's flipped out to the point to Saul. Saul. One-timer by Pistilli. Great save that time by Reichert. K's are just tic-tac-toeing. They're passing all over the ice. Now Crowder tries to hit Saul on the break. He'll just send it back to the point to Martin. Martin comes across. Pistilli just throws it on goal, and the big pad that time of Reichert kicks it away again. Komets right now look like they're on a power play. Indy looks like a very fatigued team. Now racing in is Pistilli. Intercepted that time, and the Fuel just looking to clear, and they managed to dump it out. This will not be an ice. Gingerly playing it will be Tremblay, his Komet debut, François Tremblay. And that time it's poked away from Sol, but Martin is there. He wraps it around the boards, comes up high, and the K's look to flip it out, but can't clear. Now Schrock gets tangled up that time with Patrick Cullen. Just slithers the puck right through the crease. And now the Fuel with a little bit of energy. Brunito comes across. That is snapped and just gets past the net. Tremblay trying to find that puck through a maze of players. Now Duco tries to center. Again, the puck comes through the crease. And it's Cullen flipping it back to the point. Telyakov. Oh, that was tipped that time by Duco, and Tremblay had to be ready. Now don't be surprised if there'll be a penalty coming up on the Komets with that 4-0 lead. Schrock tries to take his man off the play. Here's Saul along the boards, just rings it around. Frazee chips it out, and now turning on the speed is Hurd. Hurd, though, can't outrace Telyakov. Saul that time takes the hit as White tried to step into him. 14:30 to go in period number 2, 4-0 Komets. Here come the Fuel with a 3-on-2. White comes across. Great back check that time by Sidlowski as he denied Klotz. Now Hurd near his own blue line. Circles up center ice. Mitchell Hurd. That time he put the puck, unfortunately, in the skates of Sidlowski, so the Komets have to reset. It's a shot right on. That's a delayed offside as Martin put it on goal. Komets still have to clear the zone. Now here comes Wilson on the right wing. His drive knuckles past the side of the net. Chipped ahead by Martin, but intercepted that time by Matt White. End-to-end action so far here in period 2. That's flipped ahead. Racing for the puck is Phi. There will be no icing. Phi tries to joust with Jones behind the net. Comes up with the puck. Looks to center. That time it goes off the skate of Brisbois. Now Phi, as he puts the pressure on, Jones will just bank it off the boards. And the pass is served ahead. Big body check that time by Lacoste as he stepped into White. Now Lacoste controls the puck. Around the boards it comes. Sidlowski, a little between the leg pass, goes cross ice to Mbach. He's got plenty of room. Mbach takes a look. Now he'll skate it in. Perlini was ready to rub him off the play. Mbach again with the great forecheck. A good interception that time by Pistilli. What an addition he has been to the Komets. Pistilli already with 3 points in the game, all 3 of those coming in the first period. Leach just flips it in. Gloved by Fournier. Now Fournier will start the rush out rather methodically. Comes to the off wing where it's collected that time by Jamie Wise. Leach a little backhand pass, a little too strong. Fuel keep it in. Now they scrum along the boards. Who will come up with it? It'll be the Komets. Pistilli with the breakout. Here comes Condon busting in off the wing. Will he take the drive? He snaps the shot, but it goes wide, maybe a little tardy in the release. Now Crowder comes up high. Pistilli has it poked away by Fournier, but the Fuel will go for a full line change. 12 and a half minutes to go in period 2. That caroms in where it's stopped by the big stick of Reichert. Now cycling back behind his net is Brunito. Condon with the forecheck. Komets will control again. Petrick comes back that time as the Komets just really precise with the passes. Good line changes. And while we've played almost 8 minutes of period 2, there is a big drive wide by Frazee. It has been end-to-end action with few, if any, whistles. That time a shot by Lacasse was blocked, and I think the Fuel player may have collected one on the chops as McGuire came down to try to block the play. Looked like the puck may be deflected and got him in the teeth. So we have played 8 minutes and 2 seconds. 11:58 to go in period 2. Komets lead the Fuel 4-0. You're watching My Komets on My TV. Off the draw, the puck is controlled by Indianapolis as they look to break it in. Great body check that time by Bartow as he stepped into Chelios. Now the Komets look to break it out, and it's poked ahead that time as Petrick, though, briefly had the puck, and he had it taken away. A little backhanded attempt by Brisbois goes behind the net. Now the Fuel grinding along the boards. Wise in a scrum with Lacasse. There's a shot right on. What a great save that time by Tremblay. Oh, François Tremblay, probably the biggest tester so far, as out of nowhere Jones got the puck back at the point and fired a bullet right there, and François Tremblay equal to the task. And again, a reminder, every once in a while you might see some other broadcasters pop up, and they are the Indy broadcasters. So one of them, I have much shorter hair, and the other one, I have much longer hair. We're glad you could join us for My Komets and My TV, whether you're in the comforts of your own home. Little backhander by Klotz is steered aside that time by François Tremblay. And as Embach's going to win the race, there'll be no icing. You have to love that new hybrid icing they're using this year like they do in the NHL. And the K's just keep digging. They look like the physically stronger team. Backhand attempt by Embach is denied by Reichert. Fye tries to center, right in front. Oh, Embach couldn't get the stick on it. And the pass to the point goes between everybody, so the Komets will recollect and go back and start the play anew. So whether you're in the comfort of your own home or if you're at the official watch zone for Komet broadcasts on My TV, the Tilted Kilt in Jefferson Point, we are delighted you can join us. This game number 2 of our 18-game road package. That time Fye absorbs the big hit by Telyakov. We have played almost half of period number 2. 4-0 Komets. Embach on the wing. The drive that goes into the skates of Telyakov. And a guy who's 6'8", 6'9", those skates look like pontoons. Just served in that time by Saul as the Komets now go for a line change. So fresh troops on the ice for the K's. That puck's going to go deep in the Komet corner where it's run down that time by Drew Daniels. Komets really have a strong defensive core. Right onto the stick of Pistilli. He leaves for Crowder. Crowder, a little dipsy-doodle, tries to cut in. Bumped off the play by Brisbois. Now busting out. Here come the Fuel as Brett Perlini circles around. Now tries to backhand a pass ahead. That was a little too strong for Patrick Cullen. Cullen, though, gathers the puck. Comes back to the point. Too strong off the stick. And now here comes Condon as he races in. Quickly gets the puck. Feeds it back. Snapped back in by Pistilli. Crowder has it. Fans on it. But he keeps it at least along the half wall. Now that pass goes off the skates. Brett Perlini and the Komets' Bartow has it behind his own net. 9:24 to go in period 2. Komets on top 4-0. Well, in the 4-0 start to the season, the Komets 2-0 at home, 2-0 on the road. And they've won 2 games already against Indianapolis. Now here's Pistilli busting in. Looks to center. Waits for the sliding Fuel play to crash into the boards. Feeds the Condon, but the shot goes just wide. Komets continue to put the pressure on. And they're going to get Frazee for kind of a soft hook. Wow. Frazee could not believe it. It'll be 2 minutes for hooking. And the time of the penalty will be 11 minutes even. That was a rather softy. So Thomas Frazee goes off 2 minutes for hooking. counting the 2 penalties of last period. 3 straight penalties called against the Komets. 4-0 Komets. You're watching My Komets on My TV.
Komets on My TV.
Well, the Fuel try to set up a power play, and they need something to happen here because the Komets have a 4-0 lead as Frazee goes off 2 minutes for the hook. Quick shot off the wing is steered aside by Tremblay, and the Fuel will try to see if they can do something with the man advantage. Brunito. Now there's a one-timer that time. That is way wide by Wise, and the puck will wrap all the way around the boards and wind up back in the Indy zone. Now Brisbois manages a slice by Mbach. Brisbois just cruises in. Now near the hash at the high wall. Wants to feed it back to the point, but great work by Martin. Now the Komets looking to break it out. Here's Mbach. Leaves for Hurd. Hurd does a little dance. Oh, what a toe drag that was. Now he spins around. Has his pocket picked that time by Jamie Wise, and now Wise sets sail the other way. Wise, he tries a toe drag. Leach briefly poked it away. Mbach, again, using that smaller frame, but he is strong on his pins, and does he ever help move that play out? Now Mbach craftily spins back around. Little backhand flutter. Don't get it completely deep, but it does take some time off the clock. Now Hull goes cross-ice to Klotz. Knifing in is Bly. Bly at the high wall. Taken off the play that time by Daniels. Now back to the point, it's Hull. Jones spinning around is Bly. He blows a tire. Komets are able to poke it away, and they try to come out with numbers, and they have a chance. Sidlowski, but racing to get the puck is Nick Jones. 7:14 to go in period number 2. It's 4-0 in favor of the Komets. They've outshot Indianapolis 21-9. There's a one-timer right into the belly that time of Tremblay. Nick Jones wound up, but Tremblay had a clear line of sight, and he was able just to smother it. So the teams will change troops. Only 6 seconds remain in the Fuel power play. Well, somebody's going to get run. It's a battle of 20s. White and Crowder, and it's White who goes. In comes Clark Wilson, and a good draw that time by Crowder, and the K's should be able to polish off the rest of this power play. Frazee comes onto the ice to immediately put pressure, and then he skates to the bench, and the Komets have their lines set back up. Condon, who's had a strong game, just flips it back, now ahead to Crowder. Crowder ahead to Condon on the left wing. Crowder slices between 2 Indy players, and he gives some pursuit to Brunito, misses him. And here come the Fuel trying to break out with some numbers. White comes ahead, tries to flip it past his defender, does. Racing in to get it that time was Chelios. Fuel looking to clog things up in front, and a wild pass goes past everybody, and now Brisbois will have to chase it down as the Komets make a line change. 6:20 to go in a briskly played period 2. Sol just takes Weiss off the play. Komets dump it in. Phi tries to slice past Brisbois. To the point, Sol tries to snap the shot off, but goes off the pads of Wise. Now Wise comes in, but Martin hustles back, and now Martin intercepts the pass. What a great job by James Martin. K's are just doing all sorts of good things, clogging up the Fuel. Well, somebody lost half a stick right in the neutral zone. That shot goes off the skates of Martin. Playing it up high now is Justin Hull. Throws that right on in. Tremblay had to be on the spot as that surprised him. Players are tumbling to the ice. I think they're falling over that stick. Duco has his shot blocked by a great defensive play by Saul. Now Duco, the captain, back near the point. Tries to go cross ice. Bit of a miracle pass that evades Klotz, but Klotz keeps the puck going. Kay is looking to clear the zone. Great pressure being applied by the Fuel, some of their best of the game so far. Komets having a little problem clearing. Now they do. And up ahead, here he is. He's got some speed, misses everything. That time a pretty quick shot by Petrick. And it almost looked like the Indy player threw a stick at the puck. Busting in off the wing is Sidlowski. Tries to go high, and it'll be Cody Reichert with the smother. Well, the best pressure so far of the game was put on by the Fuel. But when the Komets were able to break it out, they got the job done. 4:58 to go in period 2. The Komets have a 4-0 lead. You're watching My Komets on My TV. By the Komets. Now trying to weave his way out of the corner is Hurd. Hurd tries to stuff the backhander home and can't. Again, a good job by Reichert by holding the post to make sure he couldn't sneak it through. Now it's Leach. Back to the point. The Komets are just working the puck around so well. Embach has it go off his stick as that was a little too sharp. Now Telyakov, hounded by Hurd. Embach tries to step into him. Sidlowski didn't get all the stick on it. Now comes back to Leach. Leach with a drive. That whistles wide. Now busting in is Daniels. He can't keep the puck in. And Garrett Klotz on his horse, but poked away that time by Leach. Telyakov dumps it deep into the Komet corner. 4 minutes and 12 seconds to go in period 2. 4-0 K's. Leach snaps it ahead to Embach, and that time the Fuel was offside. Well, Parkview Sports Medicine is proud to have 46 athletic trainers working with 23 schools in Northeast Indiana and Northwest Ohio. These certified professionals promote safety on the sidelines through preventive services, therapeutic intervention, and emergency care. Parkview Sports Medicine, a proud sponsor of My Komets on My TV. Condon, who has 2 goals, tries to dump it ahead. Now the Fuel trying to apply some more pressure. It's probably paramount for the Fuel to try to get something on the board before this period ends. Now back to the point. It's kept in by the captain, Duco. Wise will chase down Saul, who's had a strong game defensively. Pistilli can't chip it out. Intercepted a backhand shot. What a glove save that time by Tremblay. As bidding to put the Fuel on the board that time was Dylan Fournier. It'll be icing called against the Komets with 3.5 minutes to go here in period 2. Again, the next Komet home games, and they should be dandies. Friday against Kalamazoo, and then the same 2 teams Saturday. And if you missed it, there was some bad blood in the game Friday night in Kalamazoo where a couple of the Wings players gave the Komets some 2-handed slashes, and no discipline was taken by the ECHL. And the K's were still talking about that a little bit on the bus trip down. So not only are the Komets building up a rather tasty rivalry with the Fuel, don't go away. This Komets-Kalamazoo rivalry could become a little incendiary as well. Now Condon is stepped into by Brisbois, but the K's still have the puck. Now spinning around is Frazee, and he fires the shot. Don't know if that was deflected. Wound up in the netting. And the linesman will say that it was off the stick of a Fuel player, so the face-off will be in the Indy zone to the right of Cody Reichert. Frazee set for the face-off against White. Hurd sneaking in at the top of the circle, looking for the draw on the one-timer. Frazee can't quite get it back. Now Hurd will step into it. Quick shot, it's wide, as he tried to fire that through a maze of players. Klott steps into his man that time, Ian Bartow. Now Hurd, boy, is he crafty with the stick. Controls the puck, just cycles around. That time it's tipped away by Perlini, but the Komets keep it in. Frazee has cross-checked that time from behind. No call against White. Now, with the Komets up 4-0 and 2.5 minutes to go in period 2, it's going to take some sort of an offense probably for the Fuel to get a penalty. Here comes the hustling Hurd. Backhander off the glove of Reichert. Tries the wraparound. No. Big drive by Bartow. And that goes off the stick of Klotz, and it is a foot race as hustling back is Bartow. And now Lacasse steps into his man, Perlini. Great back-checking and hustle by the Komets. Now Lacasse collects behind his goal, spins away from the check that time of Matt White. K's look to clear, and it's just flipped into the air, or it's corralled near center ice. Now Fournier backpedals into his own zone. Ahead to Hall. He spins around. Sidlowski, though, keeping the pressure on Komets, had an outstanding forecheck, and that'll be offside against the Komets as Sidlowski had not cleared the zone before Fye took the pass. A minute and 48 seconds to go here in period number 2. This period has gone so quickly they have not even taken their scheduled break to bring the shovels out to get the excess snow off the ice. So they dropped the puck at center ice. It was Fye that time against Patrick Cullen. Puck goes deep into the Indy zone. Embach tries to intercept but can't. Fuel look to break it out. Sidlowski, though, clogs up that passing lane, and now the Komets have control. Flipped high off the glass. Finally collected by Hull. Fye got a stick on it, and as Sadlowski was cruising down the ice, Mbach has it, tumbles over the goaltender Reichert. Reichert has himself an extra stick, hands it back to Mbach, and back the other way we go. Sadlowski tries to poke the puck away. A couple of Fuel players are around the biscuit, but they cannot corral it, and now we're weaving down to just over a minute to go. Mbach takes the long pass up ahead that time by Joey Leach. Leaves for Fye. He has his pocket picked by Bly. And we're under a minute to go. Here comes Rhett Bly. Comes cross ice. Spinning around that time is Brisbois. And they try to go back to the point to Chelios, but it hops over his stick. And now some of the Indy faithful are letting their team hear it that they're not happy with this play at all. 40 seconds to go. Condon tries for the intercept. Can't get it. Flipped in with the backhand by Chelios. That time Tremblay tried to clear it, but cleared it on the stick of Chelios, who fired it on goal. 26 seconds to go. Komets look to break out. Here is Martin with speed as he crosses center ice. Sol, his defensive mate, tries to center the pass across, but nobody home. Now Pistilli will hustle back. That is shot off the body of Condon. Chelios just dumps it in. We're down to 10 seconds to go. Racing in to make a play is White. Comes ahead. Condon is just bumped off the play by Telyakov. White still has it, but there will be an offside call against the Fuel with 3 seconds to go in period 2. 4-0 Komets, and for the game they have outshot the Fuel 25-13. So it'll be White on the draw against Paul Crowder. Not much going on as the clock winds down, and that will do it. And now after the play, for no good reason, Klotz just skates in with Sol and tries to start something. That's pretty bottom rung. Klotz, who one time wore a Komet uniform, is just trying to do something to get his team fired up, and Klotz wisely skates away, takes one more glance over his shoulder and says, "You know where to find me in the third period." Wise move, though, by Cody Saul, because right now the K's are in complete control of this game. 4-0 Komets. We will take a break and have more of your Fort Wayne Komets on My TV. You're watching My Komets on My TV. Komets with a 4-0 lead. Fye coming to center ice for the draw against Patrick Cullen. And one thing you have to hope that doesn't happen, and that's this game get a little out of hand. You could tell that the frustration was starting to build with the Fuel players as Garrett Klotz tried to get something started with Cody Saul to end the period. So you just hope that the Fuel's not looking to exact a pound of flesh if they feel they are going to go down to defeat, which would be the third time this year the Komets would win. But still 20 minutes to decide that. Right away, Fye is stepped into by Brunito. A delayed offside, and Duco manages to shift by Fye. Now Brunito at the top of the circle, fires wide, and that should clear the entire zone. Now the race is on as Telyakov collects in his own end, fires ahead. Duco just feathers it toward the Komet zone, and a quick change by the Fuel. James Martin, who has been rock steady on defense while also providing some offense, a goal and 4 assists for 5 points this season. So Martin helped move it ahead. Here's Condon, who has 2 goals in the game. Tries to circle and center, but it caroms off the body of a Fuel player. And again, you look at this ice surface. A lot of the people say this has been good ice, fast ice. Now Condon tries to wheel around, poked away, and here comes Indianapolis looking to break out. Perlini takes the return pass, fires right on. Oh, the puck's just laying in front on the rebound, but fortunately Saul clears for the Komets. As that time, Perlini, a little pitch and catch, and that time Saul just tries to block the progress of his opponent, and now the Komets. The puck's just in the Indy zone right now. Not much of a sense of urgency by the Fuel. That's going to go past everybody. That should be an icing as Bartow closest to the puck, so it will be an ice against the Fuel. We have played just over a minute and a half of period 3. Komets on top 4-0. Face off to the right of Cody Reichert, the much-traveled ECHL veteran goalie. Frazee in on the draw against Rhett Bly. Patrick Richardson a little tardy in dropping the puck. That'll frustrate a player. Now the Fuel looks to cycle out. That is just flipped high into the air. Lacasse quickly snaps it ahead where it's just tipped in by Frazee. Looks like some of the Komets' strategy is, they're not going to take the foot off the pedal, but they're going to try to let the puck do more of the work in this period. Just kind of dump it deep, keep the feet moving, and let the rest take care of itself, but don't get careless. Now Klotz wheels into the zone, spins around. One-timer that time, but it's fanned on by Telyakov. He takes the hit by Lacasse. Now the K's pinch along the boards. That's kind of a soft pass. It's intercepted by the Fuel. Spinning around is Matt White. Centering pass that time a little too strong by Bartow. Klotz getting the rough ride. Now he cross-checks Lacasse from behind. So Klotz, again, trying to stir stuff up here in the third period as Embach looks to intercept, but White collects the puck and dumps it back in. Now Leach, 2 Fuel on him, just banks it high off the boards. Sedlowski steps into White. Fye collects the puck. Some stick work there by Klotz as he blows a tire, goes to the ice. They feed it to Sedlowski. Shot right on. Saved by Reichard. Jamie Wise had it briefly behind the net. Comes back to the point. Leach with another shot right on. Steered aside that time by Reichard. So the K's are stepping it up a little bit. Fye takes the heavy hit that time by Jamie Wise. Fye still has the puck. Now the K's just look to cycle around. Sedlowski methodically comes cross ice to the point. Leach up high to Daniels. Daniels comes back to Sid. Sid just serves the pass in. Looks to center. Sedlowski tries to hustle and gets everybody back to the puck. Now here's Sedlowski cycling. The big drive. That caroms off the defender that time. It looks like Klotz is feeling that one as it went off his ankle. Embach now takes the heavy hit that time. He's run by Klotz, but he gets the pass off. They center. Leach fires off the blocker that time of Reichard. K's are pouring on the pressure. Embach is stepped into that time by Nick Jones. Komets still have the puck. Now it's Embach. Little backpedaling. Something from the ice got stuck on Embach, and now it's laying there on the ice near the face-off circle. Komets again are acting like this is a power play. You can tell the Fuel is just out of gas, no pun intended. Embach tries to leave for Fye. Embach will collect again. Takes the slash from Klotz. That time it looked like Klotz was trying to get a toe. Now it's Daniels, top of the circle. Weaves at the hash. Leaves for Embach. Indianapolis is just out on its feet right now. Komets dump it into the corner. Crowder tries to send it. And now it'll be Klotz with a little lumber to the back of Crowder. As Reichard covers it up, what a job that time by the Komets to just pour the pressure on in the Indianapolis zone. .15:44 to go in the third period. Komets up 4-0. And the K's again just putting all sorts of pressure on the Fuel. That time Crowder's bumped off the play. Indianapolis looks to break out. Duco again just dumps it in. Hustling in that time was Rhett Bly, but Crowder will spin around, leave for Pistilli. Pistilli had a big game so far. He got 3 points in the first period. That time it looked like just being hauled down was Crowder, but no call. Big shot that time by Soul, skating in off the wing, blocked away that time by Reichard. Now Crowder tried to get into the traffic flow. Bly looks to center, a little too strong that time for Fournier, who was rushing in on the play. Fournier spins, tries to dump it deep. That time Wilson loses an edge. And Saul will just methodically pass it to Martin. Martin takes his time as he comes up, just serves a little backhander into the zone. K's are going to go for a line change up front. And so the Fuel looking to have some numbers. Here's Chelios. Chelios ahead to Perlini. Perlini shot is wide. That time Martin lost his stick. And there's a shot that is tipped. Steered aside by Tremblay. They try to bat the puck out of the air, and coming out of it, here come the Komets. As skating out is Reed Petrick. Petrick, a recent addition to the team. A shot right on by Schrock on the off wing. That's blocked away by Reichard. That'll go the length of the rink, and that should be an ice on the Fuel, and it is. Now we've played just over 5 minutes, and again the K's are dominating play. They have outshot the Fuel in this game 29-15. Mitchell Hurd, who has a goal, in on the draw against Matt White. Coming out is Chelios. Again, I talked about this earlier. He is the son of the former Blackhawk and Red Wing great Chris Chelios. So that'll be an ice, and the Komets ready for a face-off down in the Indianapolis zone. Hurd back in against White. Schrock on the right wing. And they joust for the drop, and somebody's going to get run here in a second. Off the drop. And now White's trying to start something with Hurd. He might be picking on the wrong guy. Schrock brushes aside the big defenseman, Telyakov. Now the Komets look to break it out. That time, just having the feet pulled out from under him was Reed Petrick, and that'll be a penalty to the Fuel. It comes at the 6:06 mark of period 3. And that, of course, is your textbook definition of tripping. That'll go against Wise, Jamie Wise, 2 for the trip. Komets have 4 penalties in the game. They're all 2-minute minors. That's the 3rd infraction called against the Fuel. We've got a timeout here, and the Komets lead 4-0. You're watching My Komets on My TV.
We get our speed
To My Komets Hockey on My TV Fort Wayne. Presented by Parkview Sports Medicine.
Komets go to work on the power play here with just over 13 minutes to go. A quick shot by Embach is right on and snared by Cody Reichard. I talked about this earlier in the game. Komet power play is at 22.2%. That's 11th in the league. And the penalty kill for Indianapolis, 75%, tied for 19th. So it's Wise in the sin bin, 2 minutes for the trip. Indy tries to clear off the draw, but kept in that time as Martin used the skate. Bumped off the play, so Martin just drops it in as deeply as he can, and that will be shot the length of the rink. White on the pursuit. Tries to go short side, but Tremblay was right there to seal off the pipe, and now the K's look to break out and see if they can pad that 4-0 lead. Wrapped around the boards by Condon, but it will deflect and go out of play, so the face-off will be outside the zone. Big homestand coming up this weekend for the Komets. Friday night, Halloween night. Kalamazoo comes to town. Then the same 2 teams Saturday at the Coliseum. There will be a big Halloween celebration. Kids will have the chance to trick or treat. It's always a treat to go to Komet games at Memorial Coliseum. So the Komets and Wings Friday night at the Coliseum, 8 o'clock. Then the same 2 teams Saturday at 7:30. Make sure you go to that Komet ticket office and get your tickets for Komet hockey. Saul wins the foot race with Brunito, just bangs it off the boards, and it's collected now by Martin, who starts the rush. 30 seconds left in the Komet power play. K's haven't gotten a lot going on this man advantage. Martin tries to center, but deflected by big Ildar Telyakov, so it's Martin spinning around into his own zone now. Now Martin comes across with speed, breaking in as Condon. Condon, though, can't get the biscuit past Telyakov, and it's fired the length of the rink. They'll probably do it for the power play, just 6 seconds to go. Well, Brunito takes a look as he starts the rush out from his own zone. Comes across to Lacasse, who fires it in as Wise is back on the ice, so the teams are even. All 4 of the Komet goals have come at even strength. Lacasse dances past Wise. He loses an edge, and then they fire the puck right on goal, and it's smothered by Cody Reichard, who has seen more than his share of rubber today. Boy, good play by Lacasse to do that little dipsy doodle, and as Wise went blazing by him, lost an edge, and he went into the boards right by his own bench. Hurd on the draw against Matt White. Snap to the boards. And here come the Fuel on the breakout. 11.5 minutes to go. Big Garrett Klotz. But that time, the hip is stuck into him by Bartow. Klotz just grabbed him and barrel rolled into the ice. Chelio steps into Lacasse. Right in front. Klotz will try denied that time by Tremblay, and a great defensive play by François Tremblay. The Fuel, though, still have the puck. Spinning around is Brisbois, comes back to the point. Retbois tries to get something going, but the Komets clog things up, and now it's Hurd. Tries to play the carom off the boards. Can he win the race? No, as he goes to the ice. Good hustle that time by Nick Jones of the Fuel. Case put the pressure on. Schrock with the bad angle shot. That is high off the stick of Reichert. Right in front again. Schrock has another chance. They try to center. Pinballing off the skates of the Fuel. Case keep it in. Spinning around is Petrick. Now to Hurd. Hurd tries to dance between two and then three Fuel players. And here comes Perlini back the other way. Klotz trying to race into the play. Passes high off his stick. Stepped into that time by the defender Daniels. Trying to dance in front that time and continue to dig away. But Bly is denied. Boy, François Tremblay does a great job of holding his ground near each post. So what a debut for the rookie François Tremblay. And again, if you just may be tuning in, Tremblay, just 20 years old, was a fifth-round pick of the St. Louis Blues back in 2012, but now he's Colorado Avalanche property. He's been on that shuttle recently between Fort Wayne and Lake Erie. Right now, the Komets are happy to have him here as quite a goaltending tandem with he and Nagel. Fye breaks in, ahead to Embach. Embach tries to give it back as Embach goes down right near the goal crease. Fuel looked to break out. Now Perlini leaves. Bly can't quite collect the handle on it. Couldn't get it by the ears, and now the Komets have a chance to clear, but no, it comes back to the point. The drive! Oh, that was tipped, and it just glanced off the glove of Tremblay. Good shot by Fournier. Now right in front again, trying to sweep it in as a diving Wilson. Komets with a chance to clear. That could have been a charge because that time Hole left his feet when he stepped into the Komet player. Ahead to Sedlowski. Leaves down the slot, but Embach couldn't quite catch up with it. And now Martin will just take some time off the puck. Take a look, and he'll start the rush up. 9.5 to go in the match. Komets on top by the score of 4-0. Racing in is Martin. Rubbed off the play by Fournier. Back to the point. Saul with the big drive. It's blocked that time, and boy, one of the Fuel players, Duco, hit the ice heavily as that shot went right off the leg. And he will hobble off the ice. The captain, Mike Duco. We've got timeout with 9:18 to go in the hockey game. The Komets with a 4-0 advantage. This is My Komets on My TV. Back here at the fairgrounds, the Komets with the 4-0 lead over Indianapolis. 9 minutes to go in the match. And the K's are just 9 minutes away from a 5-0 start. That time Soul takes the hit by Wise. Puck meanders its way back into the Indy Fuel zone. Now it comes across to Telyakov. Flips it in, and it'll be Martin. All sorts of time to get the puck because Indy going for a full line change. So Martin out of open ice as he crosses center. Just flips the backhander high into the zone. And hustling in is Pistilli. Pistilli takes the big hit that time from Clark Wilson. He's tried to be a little bit of an agitator here in the latter stages. Centering pass, just a little too strong for Crowder. Comes back to the point. Lacotte's the one-timer. Oh, Pistilli was looking for a tip, but it went all the way through. Steered aside again by Reichert. Now back the other way. Here come the Fuel. Matt White trying to make something happen, but the K's fend it off. Now to Pistilli. Pistilli comes across. Neatly collected by Condon. Now the K's will regroup. Caromed off the boards beautifully onto the stick of Frazee. Frazee from the hash fires again, steered aside by Reichert. Coming in is Hurd, and he'll snap the shot. Another big save by Reichert. So Mitchell Hurd continues to pour the pressure on. I'd like to take a moment to wish the longtime legendary Hall of Fame radio voice of the Komets, Bob Chase, a speedy recovery. I know Bob was under the weather this weekend. So Bob, if you're tuning in, Chaser, get well soon because it's not Komet hockey without Bob Chase. Well wishes to you and your wife, Murph, and I hope you're back on your feet and ready to get back to Radio Rinkside very, very soon. Klotz on the left wing. Dumps the soft pass into the corner. Frazee tries to clear and can't. Now cycling the other way is Lacoste. Comes ahead, and that'll be a breakaway. Just a little too strong for Hurd. And it'll be Reichard to smother it up. Little frustration by Hurd because that was right there, and it just went off the tip of his stick. Couldn't quite reel it in, or he would have had a solid chance for his second goal of the match. 2,447 in attendance today. This renovated barn holds, I think, a little over 6,500. $64 million they put into the renovation of this arena. It is fantastic. Great for hockey, and the Division I basketball team down here, IUPUI, will play its home games here this year. Kept in by Bartow, looks to center. Now weaving around, looking for something is Cullen. That goes off a maze of players. Sidlowski just flips the backhander to center ice where Telyakov picks it up for the Fuel. Now the puck just winds up deep in the Fuel zone as Brunito has to recycle behind his own net. Under 7 to play. Cullen ahead to Chelios. Chelios now to Wise on the short pass. Wise spins around, looks for a cutter, but that's intercepted, anticipated by Fye. The Komets with a 2-on-1, possibly 3. Fye takes a look, tries to center. Instead it goes off of Reichard. Fye trying to wait to the last minute as the defender slid past, but the Komets continue to put pressure on, take time off the clock. Martin steps in, takes it back to the point where Mbach covers. Mbach right through the slot, one-time attempt by Sidlowski. That's just tapped away by Chelios. Now back to Saul. Comes across to Martin. Martin tries to go across, but briefly poked away by Cullen, and then just backhanded into the Comet zone by Chelios. Again, full line changes. Martin will just take his time. Spin right next to the Comet goal. Looks for the pass ahead, and it's gathered in by Condon, but poked away that time by the defender Justin Hull. Now here's Duco. Duco fires it over the top of the net. And back the other way, it's Condon trying to break in. Condon hounded by a couple of the Fuel players. Hull tried to push him off the play. 5:40 to go in period number 3. That time Condon tried to center, but it couldn't get its way through to Pistilli. Duco dumps it deep in the corner. Now it's chased down that time by Dylan Fournier. Up along the near wall, White into the corner. Good job that time by Bartow to fend off 2 Fuel players. Just serves the puck neatly to neutral ice. Now Brunito tries to carry, leaves for Wilson. Wilson snaps it, goes off the stick of White. Lacoste tries to play it away. Now the Fuel player right in front, they jab at it and try to jam it home. No. Stepping into the play is Hurd. Mitchell Hurd's always around the puck. Now Hurd trying to break out with speed. Bumped off the play that time by a hustling Brett Perlini. Now it comes cross ice. K's put themselves off sides. Now they clear the zone as we are down to 4:44 to go in period number 3. Bartow intercepts that cross ice pass intended for Klotz. K's enter the zone. Big heavy hit applied on Petrick by Telyakov. And the Komets just content to dump the puck deep as Joey Leach with the smart play. Spinning around is Ildar Telyakov, but the Komets intercept. Bly bumps his man Petrick, and now we've got a whistle on the play. And we've got a timeout on the play as well. 4:19 to go in the hockey game. Komets lead Indianapolis 4-0. This is My Komets on My TV. Now back at the fairgrounds, the Komets breaking out rather neatly, and boy, Mike Mbach just missed a great opportunity. You wonder if the ice is getting maybe just a little softer here in period 3. Tell you what, Cody Reichard has had to be Johnny on the spot a number of times with that big glove. 4 minutes even to go in the game. Komets up 4-0. They have outshot the Fuel 35-18 in just a dominating performance. It's just gingerly dumped in by Brisbois. The defensive pair for the Fuel go for a change, and François Tremblay puts the big mid over it. Coming up after the game, we'll have a brief wrap-up and post-game show. Next broadcast of Comet Hockey will be Wednesday, November 12th in Kalamazoo. Now take note, that's a 10:30 a.m. start. 10:30 a.m. on Wednesday, November 12th from Kalamazoo. Tommy will have the call. Don't miss my Komets on my TV. That's steered aside by Tremblay, and that time Pistilli just tries to whack it off the boards. Fournier dances around his defender Crowner. Fournier denied that time by the always steady Martin. Now Pistilli battles with Chelios. And back the other way comes Justin Hull. Now Chelios dishes off on the right side. Again, just a soft shot is grabbed that time by Tremblay, who puts the stick out to make sure he has plenty of space between himself and Chelios. Now for both teams, this is the back end of 3 games in 3 nights. Komets going for a 3-game sweep and a 5-0 start to the season. White on the draw with Frazee. Well, the puck again through a maze of players. Indy trying to make something happen as that time Hull stepped into it, but Hurd niftily with the feed. Now it's ahead to Schrock. Schrock crosses the blue line, dumps it into the corner, races after it. Reichert plays it with the backhand. Frazee is sandwiched between 2 Fuel players, including big Garrett Klotz, but Schrock comes away with the puck. Schrock tries to cycle out. Goes back deep to Frazee. Frazee is stepped into by Hull. Frazee just content to pin the puck along the boards. So it's now a 4-5 player scrum along the corner. Komets try to dig it out. What a job by Hurd. He comes away with the puck. Centering pass that time. Oh, what a play. As attempting to feed it was Frazee to Hurd. Just couldn't quite get the big stick on it to finish it. Now the puck does come out, so Hurd will be content. Take a little more time off the clock. Goes past his defender, Perlini, and Hurd. Puck is just like a magnet on his stick. Shot right on. Shouldered away that time by Reichert. Hurd is single-handedly frustrating the Fuel. Comes back to Bartow. He tees it up. Blocker save that time by Reichert. Just over 2 minutes to play, and here come the Fuel. 3-on-3. Cullen tries to dance his way in. Feeds the backhander. Lacoste spins away from Perlini. And the Komets trying to break out with numbers. Under 2 to go. Fuel looking to avoid the goose egg. Duco tees it up, shoots it over the top of the net. Embach was breaking out, but he has his pocket picked by Wise. Wise a little backhand pass to Duco, comes back to the point. Talyakov, that shot is deflected. Duco tries to center. Wise looks to center. And the K's, can they break out with it? Here comes Daniels. 1.5 minutes to go in the hockey game. Daniels spins around, just dumps it deep in the corner. Waiting for it that time was Sidlowski, also joined by Phi. Talyakov circles out and feeds ahead to Cullen. Cullen just flips it into the corner as the Fuel go for what could be a final line change. Komets feed it ahead, chipped by Sidlowski. That will not be an ice. Matthew Brisbois. Chased by the Komets, Crowder. We are under 1 minute to go in this one. Man, could you, well, I wouldn't say it. It's like you don't talk much about a no-hitter. 48 seconds to go. Jones plays. Condon pursues. Brisbois spins around, loses an edge. Crowder tries to intercept, can't. That is tipped back to Martin. Martin will spin around, gets it ahead. Pistilli. Komets are just taking time off the clock. They know what's going on. Dumped deep into the corner with 30 seconds to go in the hockey game. Komets with a full change. Fuel looking for that final rush. Now White dances in. Big Garrett Klotz goes into the corner, but White has it, tries to feed Klotz. Komets try to poke it away. Hurd backhands it, gets hit from behind by Klotz. And we're going to have a penalty, and I think it may be on Klotz. That was a dangerous play along the boards. It will come at the 19:48 mark. Looks like it'll be a boarding call. Goes against Klotz. Now they call it a rough instead. So roughing instead of boarding. Just 12 seconds to go, and the Komets deep in the Indianapolis zone with the man advantage, looking to run this one out. What a weekend this would cap for the K's. 8 seconds to go. That'll just go into the corner. Tremblay will just watch it as the clock winds down. 3, 2, 1. And that is the hockey game. A debut shutout for François Tremblay. And the K's pour out of the bench to mob the 20-year-old rookie goaltender, François Tremblay, his first game in a Comet uniform, and he pitches a shutout. Komets win 4-0. We'll be back for a final recap. You're watching My Komets on My TV.
My TV Fort Wayne, presented by Parkview Sports Medicine. Parkview Sports Medicine, and airing exclusively on My TV Fort Wayne.
Well, welcome back to the Fairgrounds Coliseum here in